reminder before we read the comment box. This needs to be a respectful conversation. We'll limit discussion to like 5 minutes because it has already been discussed by the executive committee along with SGA as a whole in a previous time. With that being said, I will go ahead and read it. I think it's ridiculous that no one has brought this up already. Last year, Jorge was impeached for not fulfilling the duties of his position. If I remember correctly, he was supposed to do things that put him in good standing with SGA again. He never did them, yet he was able to run and win student body president. I think this is very indicative of how this school just doesn't care about minorities. If you all let someone like this into that position, and it shows that Jorge doesn't care about the minorities on campus, and that BS last semester was just performative activism, and everyone on SGA is complicit in this. Okay, so that was the comment. First thing I want to say, Jorge was actually not impeached. The executive committee voted against that, so that is one false part of that comment. Jorge also, I believe, attended, I think it was like a Saturday night thing that was supposed to happen, which never actually happened. I'm not 100% sure why that happened, but that was also discussed through the executive committee. But I think that's all I have to say about that. So we can open it to general discussion. Anyone on exec, which I believe is just Tatum, can also speak on behalf of this. Go ahead, Tatum.
Question, when you're saying exec talked about it, are you speaking in the terms of last semester as we have not met yet this semester?
Yes, like last semester is in the last time we discussed and voted and everything.
Okay, dope. Just wanted to clarify that.
Which I think
I was confused.
Which I think was just Tatum at the time, correct? Will, were you there? Will, go ahead. Okay.
It would have been Chase, Tatum, Casey, and Elliot.
Yeah, so, yep, okay. Will, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask if the person that submitted it requested for a response back.
They did not, but they said they were a senior. Piscazi, go ahead.
So I have a question. So you said that Jorge attended something that didn't happen. And if I'm correct, he was impeached. He wasn't convicted of the impeachment. So he was impeached. He wasn't convicted, but he didn't do the things that he like, because I remember being in SGA, Elliot came up and spoke about like Jorge had like a number of punishments. I don't know if you call them punishments, but like things he needed to do. And if you said that he attended something that didn't happen, then he didn't attend anything.
I think when I was reading it, Piscazi, because I looked up some of the stuff, because what I saw was that there was and somebody said there was a third sanction in there, but the way the wording, and I don't have it in front of me, so since I'm at home, I don't have that document with me, but I think it said they weren't found to be impeachable offenses, but there was some sanctioning in there. And one of the sanctioning was the apology, which they documented as the date was like September 2nd. And then the other one was attending a protest rally that was supposed to be on Saturday, September 5th, if I remember right off the top of my head, that apparently didn't happen. Somebody mentioned something about a third sanction, but I can't find any documentation about a third sanction. And that's the one if there is one, I don't know where it is, and I haven't seen it because it's not written in the original impeachment stuff or the exact notes.
Before Tatum answers, maybe it was creating a program or something, but
that's what I was going to talk about, because Jorge and Chase were we're the only ones that were like there. If I remember correctly, and please correct me if I'm wrong, it was that there was supposed to be a dual hosted event with Jorge and another multicultural group on campus. I believe that's what we had come to agreement on.
Okay.
Please correct me if I'm wrong.
I remember that being stated. I'm not 100% sure if that was like written down as a sanction, but I know Jorge was open to doing something like that.
Yeah, I mean, now that we're in Yellowface and we can do events, I think that's more reasonable, because I think if you just do Zoom, not let people go. It's not very representative of what you're trying to do. So I mean, now that we're in yellow phase, I think it's a better time to like be able to do an event in which people attend in person that wouldn't just go to like the Zoom link, you know?
Hey, did you find the documentation? Because like I said, the form that I have, it only had the 2 sanctions, and I couldn't find it in minutes, and I couldn't find it anywhere.
I was just trying to look for it. I thought that we took like minutes that I was trying to find on Teams somewhere. I can't find it. Has anyone texted like Elliot? Because as he was the president during that time, I feel like if anyone has like documentation, he would be the one to have it.
I talked with Elliot a little bit about it, and he thought that there was a 3rd sanction in there too, and so when I looked at, like I said, that's when I looked at the stuff that the whatever 4-page litany of things that he wrote up about that night. It only had the 2 things, and that's where and he wasn't sure. He thought there was one, but he thought it was discussed in the open SGA meeting when we talked about it, and not in the exec one. You know what I mean?
I think it was just a suggestion in exec that Jorge was willing to do. But go ahead, Tatum.
Whoa, sorry. I thought that I was speaking words and I realized no sound was coming out. I'm really sorry. If I remember, God, that was so many things have happened since that. I'm trying my best to. Wasn't it that like we had talked about it and then we at the time weren't sure if that was it, like what to do because we were still new with COVID, so we weren't sure how hosting an event would work, that we were going to bring it to SGA to vote on and then decide, and that we never ended up voting on it because the conviction of the impeachment never happened. Like, was that a thing that we talked about? Like
I'm
for
sure.
other senators, do you guys remember having a conversation like that? Like Piscazzi saying yes, like obviously she remembers this conversation. I remember the conversation. I'm just making sure that other people remember the conversation.
Yes, it probably, yeah, I'm sure it was.
Well, here, how
I
about
don't know if it was a sanction or not, but if he's willing to do it, I think Piscazzi, go ahead.
Thank you. I remember because I was heated about this at the time because I was one of the people upset with Jorge. So I distinctly remember what happened. And I don't know what Tatum's talking about because I don't think we ever voted on it. I just remember it being like Elliot, the words coming out of his mouth, telling us what the punishment sanctions were, and like making a program or like dual hosting it with another program was one of them. Skylar is shaking her head yes, but I don't think she was here. But you might have been here. I don't know who is here. I just distinctly.
It may have been first-year students' first week on SGA. That may have been first-year students' very first meeting with the group. How about this? This I know we've already had a long meeting tonight and a pretty emotional one. How about this? How about we do a little research into this and we revisit this next week to finalize this? It sounds like there's a lot of people that are clear that there was an expectation that Jorge was supposed to do a program. So let's, and again, Elliot, I think is probably the most knowing of all of us about that, but would we be okay with putting a pin in this to finalize it next week?
All right, so we've reached past the maximum time. Piscazzi, go ahead and answer. But as Rich said, we'll reach out to the proper sources and finalize this next week.
So I'm kind of just generally upset that like this was something that students were like upset with Jorge about, and like no one thought it was important to like actually write down what he needed to do. I don't know whose fault that is, not putting blame on anyone, but like kind of upsetting because like it was students, like BSU students who were upset about Jorge's actions, and like no one thought it was important to like write all the things down that he was supposed to do. 1, 2, I would also think like because they were sanctions on Jorge would remember what he was supposed to do. Kind of annoying. Also, like not okay with pinning it because like that's literally just what the college tells us that we're going to do with like diversity issues all the time is we're going to put a pin in it. We're working on it. We're going to do some research. So like, cool, if meeting's over, that's fine. But like, just like general frustrations that like I know I have, Tatum has, not about Jorge, but just like in general, that like issues like this don't seem important to anyone other than the people that are impacted by them. So like, cool, glad we had this like discussion.
I'm just saying, Piscazzi, I don't have all the documentation in front of me, and I don't want to necessarily rush to judgment until we have that documentation and know exactly what we're talking about. But Lane had his hand up, and Lane may know from the minute side.
I recognize Lane. Don't I need to say that or something?
Yes, you do.
Okay. See, I knew I was doing something right. I recognize Lane, so he can speak.
Like we all got an email back in September, I think it was. It was sent to like the SGA as a whole, and I can forward it to you guys if you want. But it says, and this is just like the end of like the whole email, it says, the executive committee has decided to hand down the following punishments to Vice President Jorge Castellon, to attend or show support to the protest taking place on campus Saturday, September 5th, and 2, to craft a timely and sincere apology where the accused takes accountability for his absence and lack of transparency during the BLM protest, which took place on campus Wednesday, September 2nd.
All right. Before Tatum says something, I would just like to say directly to Piscazzi, I wouldn't compare this to the way the college does things, because as Tatum and I know, that exec meeting was very like emotional. We were all directly invested into Jorge talking and getting advice from Elliot. And it wasn't a normal exec meeting. It was like an emergency exec meeting, really late at night. All of us were just a little out of it, but we were trying to make the best decision in the most professional way possible, taking into account the Constitution and bylaws and everything. But I think now that we have what Lane said, we can reach out to Elliot and we can talk about this. Tatum, you'll be the last. Tatum, quick, and then Piscazzi, and then I'll go ahead and adjourn.
Just to like put this out there again, like when this meeting took place, we were under a different constitution that we are under now. And like I said this during the meeting, Jorge knows this, Chase knows this, Richard knows this. If the constitution that we have now had been passed at that time, I personally would have voted differently. So like I do want to like make that apparent. Like we were voting based on the Constitution because that's what we had to do in that situation. And like everyone knows that like I'm very outspoken, but like they can attest for I was a completely different person during that meeting because I had to acknowledge that I was representing the entire junior class as a class president, and I knew that everyone in the class didn't hold the same views that I did. So I would just like to remind everyone that we were under a different constitution at the time, but Piscazzi had her hand up, so let her have the last word, please.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, that's what the email says, but like multiple people here remember other things that were supposed to happen. I just want to know what actually was supposed to happen, because like I was upset about that. I'm still upset about everything that happened last semester. So like if one person could do one thing that was asked of them, like Jorge, the school, anyone, and it is similar to the school, I would contend, but like I just want that to happen. Like I remember Skylar, Katie remembered like that third sanction. Like we clearly remember that third sanction happening. So I would just like clarification. That's all.
Yeah, maybe what we also need to do is Chase is go back and review the minutes from that meeting in SGA, because clearly we don't have any more documentation other than what we have in front of us. Because like I said, I couldn't find it in the minutes either. So that's one of those things that we probably should do.
Okay. And just a reminder, Jorge did say he was open and able to do something. So did someone else just raise their hands? No, I'm seeing things. Okay. We will move on to item number item number 8, announcements. Sorry, guys. Announcements. I'll just go ahead and say these. Fencing club inauguration. Date to be announced. So that's interesting. Stay on the lookout for when that starts up. And happy Black History Month. So keep educating yourself this month and every month, but focus on this month, different resources. I know Jorge posted things on the Facebook page. There's links that were sent through President Kelleher and her team as well. So that is it. All right, Tatum, your hand's up.
So this is a fun announcement. So the Women's and Gender Studies Department is having a lecture like we do every year. You know, that's a thing that we do. And Maeve Callan, being the wonderful woman that she is and just being untouched by any human, she managed to get, hold on, I can never remember the correct last name because I just had, Miki Kendall is coming to Simpson to lecture. And if you don't know who that is the author of Hood Feminism, which is like absolutely freaking insane. It's Black History Month. If you want to read a phenomenal piece of Black literature that will give you a very, very, a phenomenal view on like Black culture and especially how Black women are treated and how feminism is overly whitewashed, I highly suggest reading the book. She will be here on March 31st. There will be a registration link that will be coming out soon. But please mark your calendars. And if you have the opportunity to read the book, I'd highly recommend. But this is a phenomenal opportunity for everyone to learn about Black culture and support a Black woman who is an author. But I just wanted to throw it out there. I'm really, really excited, and it is something to look forward to. It is March 31st at 7 p.m. I'm pretty sure that there'll be a campus-wide email being sent out, but I'm just really excited. And Maeve sent an email like kind of confirming that it was happening. So I was like, okay, I want to tell people because I've been holding on to the secret for a while, and I wanted to tell you guys. But that is all. Happy Black History Month.
Piscazi.
BSU and CAB are co-hosting a Black History Month trivia event Friday night in Black Box at like 7 p.m. I think.
8 p.m. and the prizes are legit. There is, so that you all know, and you can tell all your friends to be there, all the questions are Black History Month related, so you better do your studying and know your stuff. And each round, the winners of each round, the teams are maximum of 4 people per team. The teams, each round, the winning team will get a $100 Amazon wish list each round. At the end, the overall winner will win $250 and a check from the college. The second place team will get $100 and a check from the college. And the third place team will get a $50 check from the college. So they're legit prizes. We're excited to do it. And it's a great opportunity for people to learn a little bit about Black History Month. So tell all your friends. Here's the only challenge is we are a little bit limited in space. So it's going to be a first come, first serve to get into the room. But hopefully we have a good crowd come on Friday night at 8.
Piscazi, go ahead. Or did you have? Go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry. The chat just caught me really off guard and I didn't like it. I'm sorry.
Wait, we're using dead.
Sorry.
Not to use like dead names, but how may I notify Dylan? Or
Is it okay if I message them?
that's perfectly fine. No
Yes.
worries.
Let's message them because we not in the business of using dead names. But other thing was BSU has a new book for the month of February, Black History Month. It's Medical Bondage, Race, Gender, and the Origins of American. I can't say this word. The OBGYN, those people. And also we're in talks with having the author come and speak with us sometime in the next month. So it would be great if you could read the book with the BSU book club this month and then like come to her lecture next month if we're able to get her. But it'd be really cool. So you guys should do that. If you need the Discord, let me know because it'd be hype. And I would love for someone to come give me a run of my money because I got a $50 gift card. So someone come try to take it away from me. I dare you.
Wyatt.
My announcement is next week, February 17th, from 1 to 2, there is a Culver lecture about healing the planet, climate action as a religious and moral imperative. There's a lot of really neat climate action speakers from outside of the college that'll be there. I think it'd be really worth your time to just grow as a person on that kind of aspect, as well as hear like kind of stuff that's from the college. And if you have more interest in that aspect, I am the president of Simpson Sustainability Club, and you can ask. We're a co-host of that as well. So if you have questions, bring that to me, or our event this Friday about making sustainable bags. There's flyers up. So thank you.
Go ahead, Tatum.
This is not an announcement, so please don't put this in the minutes. But I was just talking to Dylan, and the college is using their dead name in the email. So if SGA would like to work together to get that fixed, because that is absolutely unacceptable, and that makes me very angry. So I'll know what steps we got to go through, but I think that is something that we should definitely urge the college to change, because that is absolutely unacceptable. And the fact that this has happened to more than one student is very disheartening.
Okay. I'm guessing we can maybe talk about that in the group meet or put it in the minutes for the next meeting. Piscazi, last question or announcement. Go ahead.
It was just what I said in the chat. Look out for BSU flyers for all of our events this month. We have a ton of them going on. One that we do every year, the die-in, which is going to be the 17th, 12 to 2. Everyone should be a part of that. We just lay on the floor and we recognize police brutality. So like that should be a thing everyone does. So if you can do that. You don't have to be there for the whole time, but it'd be cool if you could. But just look out for our flyers. And also on Tatum's note, Pride has been working on that for like the past 3 years. So if we want to do something about it, I think we should include Pride on that as well, because it's been one of their passion projects for 3 years.
Tatum.
It's a response to that, and I'm done. I'm really sorry, Chase. I just became the president of Pride. Forgot that happened. So I will I forgot that I just got that position. I literally got it yesterday. So bear with me. Yes, I will try my best. And I'll let y'all know what happens with that. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. That brings us to item number 9, adjournment.